So here we have the finals game. It's going to be Infamous on the left-hand side of the field versus the All-Americans on the right-hand side of the field. Now, Infamous are going to need to win. They can win with a low body count to win the event. They'd have to have more than one player alive. All-Americans, I don't know that they can win the event unless they have a very high body count win. But it is coming down to this last finals game. I haven't been able to look at the scoreboard to work out the exact math. Infamous stalemated against Aftershock but eliminated all but one player from Aftershock and had 4, maybe 5 players alive. And then Aftershock beat the All-Americans. So both teams really need the win. This finals game brought to you by the ICPL and Inception Designs. This is our last game of the event. And then we'll do a video afterwards just going through the scores and the placings. But this is the very last game of the event. 10 seconds. I think we'll watch the Infamous breakout.
There you go.
Infamous going for the far tape rollers. Nobody up the centre of the field. All-Americans take the 40 in the centre field. Neither team going for the tank yet. A little more conservative breakout from both teams. Both teams are 10 alive. Infamous push another player up on the far left. The last game we had a technical error where the camera overheated. The Doc's Warriors beat Smoke with 9 players alive. Should really have been 10, but they beat them with 9 players alive. So Doc's Warriors will have won the amateur division. We're watching this game to see who wins the pro division. So both teams currently with 10 alive. All-Americans put a guy into the tank. He seems to make it in nice and clean. Infamous move a player to the 40 and the referee calls him out. So Infamous first to lose a player. They now have 9 players. All-Americans have 10 and they have field position with a player on the 50 at the tank. Referee checking the far corner player for Infamous, he's still alive. So it's 10 All-Americans on 9 Infamous. All-Americans push up to the 40 on their side and fill out wide. Still 10 All-Americans live, 9 Infamous. All-Americans push up to the snake one on this tape. And then bump up and fill the bunker behind him. So All-Americans with field position currently. All-Americans 10 players alive still. Infamous 9. Referee running to check the player on the rollie for All-Americans. And he is eliminated, so it's 9 on 9. All-Americans put another player into the center 50. They have 2 players at the tank. 1 player at snake 1. Infamous loses a player from this tape. Oh no, is the referee not taking him out? Yes, the referee is taking him out. Infamous with 8s, is it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might be 7. I think it's 8. Infamous with 8. All-Americans with 9. Infamous pushes to the far tape God bunker just before the trench. All-Americans with 2 players in the tank, 2 players in the near side snake. Infamous tries to move for the player wide on the left. All-Americans go into the diamond, or triangle rather, hyperball diamond, hyperball triangle right next to the tank. So I think it's 8 Infamous, 9 All-Americans. All-Americans with 1 player at the tank, 1 player in the triangle, 1 player in the 50 snake, 1 player at snake 1. So All-Americans with definite field position right now. Infamous loses a player from the 30 middle. So I think that puts them to 6 players. They have the far back tree. I think they have the God bunker. They have the rollie. Infamous with at least 5 players alive. Might be 6. I can't see the God bunker on the far tape. At least 5, potentially 6 Infamous. All-Americans starting to push up in the centre of the field. Infamous player tries to move up to the 30 in the middle of the field and is eliminated. So it could be just 4 players left alive now. All-Americans lose a guy from the triangle hyperpipe, push another player into the tank. Got 2 players in the tank. So I think Infamous does have a player on the God bunker. That means they've got 5 players left alive. All Americans have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players at least. Infamous loses a player from this tape. It's there. One, 2, 3, 4 Infamous players alive. 4 players alive. All Americans with 1, 2, 3, 4 players on the 50. All Americans bringing up from the rear, the back left. There's at least, if not 8, if not 9 All Americans alive on 4 Infamous. All Americans push a player up on the far tape. He moves up to the stand up before the trench. Infamous have 3 players along the back line. I think they have the rollie. Not the God bunker, he's in the rollie. But they're 4 players. All Americans come to this side of the snake. Pretty exposed there. So 4 Infamous, at least 8 All Americans. All Americans with a lot of field position, pushing up into the center. Infamous player screaming for a check on the player that moved up to the 60. There's only 1 minute left. There's only 1 minute left in the game. 1 player from the inside of the field limited for All Americans. Less than a minute left. All Americans try to push on the far tape as well. He goes into the ditch. All Americans coming down the tape. He's into a tree. All American runs down on the far tape as well. Infamous runs back against him, runs all the way down the far tape, shoots the player, he's eliminated. All American players eliminated from this tape. That means Infamous still have the rollie on the far side. They have 2 players on the back line. All Americans have 50 just past the snake. Infamous player moving up on this tape. And that is time. That is time. So we're going to have to go to the scoreboard and work out with a little math who's won. I am not sure. So there's 1, 2, 3. So I think that's 3 live players for Infamous. Is it 3 live Infamous or is it 2? No more Infamous coming up. So the body count's going to be crucial.
Keep them down, please. Keep them down, please. Thank you. No red line.
That's 100% a picture if you wipe too many.
Stop whining, Billy. Jesus Christ. What are you doing? You're not going to win either way. Either are you. It's a good game. What are you fucking whining? Stay right here. Back and turn. You go from that side. Shoot.
No, he shot something.
He shot it. He would have eliminated you. That would have been amazing.
No,
He shot Kyle.
Pick up your
It's
puck.
a major penalty.
Pick up the
No,
puck.
it's a major penalty.
Barrel side.
Good game. There's no wonder.
Doesn't matter.
Right, but we got a major penalty
Gets third, we get second.
because we got shot.
I keep the body. Pick up your
Right, but it ends the game. How did that happen earlier?
body alive.
That dude over there was already shot.
You got 3 live bodies, right?
3 live bodies. I have 2. Or 1.
That's why I have 4.
The guy is materially affecting us from continuing to play. He can't play. He's shot. You're wiping him off. They're running down the field with hits on them. How is that not a major penalty?
Okay, well, I just gave it to him. All right, but now it's not like I call it.
Right, no, I understand.
Okay, so he's given them the major penalty. So it's still a stalemate, but 1 All-American left, and I think 4 infamous left.
No, but
Alright, we're going to have to go to the scores to see who wins and who comes second and third.